What's up everybody, welcome back to another Ride and Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. Today, we're gonna get a grip.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a
Yes, you saw the thumbnail, you knew what it was about, you heard my corny joke. We're getting grips done. I've heard them pronounced different ways. The more consistent way that I personally heard them pronounced and how I will always pronounce them personally is Domino. Sue me if I'm wrong, but we went with the classic black and gray. Gray because the bike's a little gray, got a tinted gray, bars silver, you know. I figured it would be good without doing too much. I don't want to overload it with color with the blue, especially because this is a different blue than like the typical anodized blue kind of stuff. But it comes with a left side and a right side. These are gonna fall by the end of the video. Left and right side grip, instructions, a sticker. You know I love my stickers, so I'll spare you reading the instructions because I already read them earlier. Basically, take the old grips off, put the new grips on using alcohol. What they want you to do is put alcohol all in there. They don't say use grip glue. It doesn't come with grip glue or anything like that. It just says alcohol. So you put all alcohol in there on the the piece. Make sure it's all cleaned off and everything. I'm gonna try very hard to remove these old grips without cutting them, just in case something happens with these. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if these are glued. These don't seem glued on, which is nice. Which means none of these have to be glued on, but something about this interior that Domino has doesn't require glue. Like I said, I don't know if it's a general metric thing. On the Harley grips, it's always, I've used alcohol in the past, but most of them come with grip glue and they tell you to get grip glue. But first, we gotta get these bar sliders off. So let me grab an Allen. All right, so on this bike happens to be a 5mm Allen to get these off. Yes, you can use a wrench, yes, or not a wrench, but you can use a ratchet, whatever. I'm just gonna use a key. It's a decent amount of length and leverage, and it's flat. You don't wanna use a ball end on these. These are always gonna be relatively easy to strip. So I'll move you guys closer and we'll do it. All right, so the first step, obviously, we gotta remove the bar ends. Again, for us, it's 5mm. I don't know why I said that so weird. They are gonna feel weird and like it's gonna break. You don't need to remove the insert. So hopefully yours is as relatively easy as that to take out. We are gonna add some Loctite at the end of that. Now there are a couple different ways to do this. I'm gonna try to do it the simplest way, which is just basically to unroll it, roll it on itself, almost like one of those grips that you used to play with when you were in elementary school and you got it from the school store for, $17 after you read 35 AR books and wasted, 7 hours of your life and tested for them. But anyway, I digress. You could put a flathead screwdriver in there. You can cut the grip, just flat out cut it. You could get compressed air, spray it. There's a lot of different ways. Like I said, we're gonna try to do it, not necessarily the easiest way, but definitely the simplest way. No tools, no air, no nothing like that. All right, I take back everything I said. We're not gonna do the easy way anymore. We're gonna cut it. It's just too much of a hassle. I don't need to save the stock grips. I can't even get that back now, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut it. And don't worry about scratching, on this end at least. I don't know what the other one looks like yet, but don't worry about scratching this part up. If anything, the rougher this part is, the better the grips adhere to it. All right, so now the next step, I am personally putting on gloves. Yes, I understand this is only isopropyl alcohol. However, the alcohol that I have is 99%. And if you've ever gotten it on your hands, especially for longer than like a half a second, you know that it just turns your skin this weird white kind of hard color, and it's like the worst thing in the world. It's such a pain in the butt to deal with. So trust me, not something that you want to have to worry about. All right, so in the kit, or in any grip, setup you're gonna get, you'll notice that one is bigger than the other, interior diameter wise. It's pretty much idiot proof, because if you go to put this on, clearly that's not happening. So we're gonna use the smaller of the two. I'm getting a towel real quick to clean up any spilled alcohol. We also don't want to get it on the bike. You know what, actually I should put a towel on the bike. Hold on. All right, don't laugh. I got one of my daughter's towels because I don't need that much real estate here, you know. We're gonna drape it, I don't know if I can. Actually, we use this little head poncho thing over here, and that should work maybe fine for that. I don't know. That doesn't seem to be doing a good job. Oh well. We'll leave it like that, I suppose. All right, so got the bike protected, right? Decide on the orientation. I'm gonna try, these are where I want my bar, so I'm gonna try to get it right. See, if you start putting it on, it should be relatively tight fit, but you're gonna put it on so that the domino is right up and down. And then there's also gonna be this little channel. I'm gonna do so that channel is closest that way. Now, different bikes are different. There's nothing specific that requires anything with the cutout, so double check your bike. But again, just to keep that cutout away from kind of seeing the bike, I guess, more or whatever, we're just gonna have it facing back behind us. All right, so off camera, what I'm doing is coating the inside of this grip with alcohol per the instructions. I'm gonna spray some on a towel. And actually, I'm going to put this towel behind there and try to spray some on here too, so it gets a little bit better coated. I think that's pretty good. Wipe it off of there. Again, I know it's just alcohol, but still. All right, now the inside of the grip is all coated. Just gonna shove her on home there. Should be relatively easy, and this is not too easy, but definitely doable. You just don't want to wait too long, because the rubber and the alcohol will start to set a little bit. And my hand is slippery. I'm gonna dry it off real quick. And when you're done twisting it, make sure that it's all straightened out. I think we're about good. Probably going to be some residual alcohol on the end of it. Make sure we clean all of that out. Double check everything. Make sure that's straight up and down like we wanted it. Could go a little bit more this way, just a tad. Now I personally like these grips better. They feel a little bit thinner, which I personally like also. But personal preference on grips, we're gonna grab some Loctite, put it onto the factory or whatever one you choose to use. Just a little bit, barely anything, because these suckers, they don't want to come off to begin with. Put your bar end back on. Something interesting with this that we just found out too is that that bar end kind of pushed it a little bit, which means there's probably a little bit of rubber scrunched up here. There, now we get a little bit of a gap. That's a lot better. So you just want to make sure that you kind of grab from the back and just push it and scrunch it up, because when you're pushing it on, it stretches out a bunch, and we want to make sure that it sits right up against your perch there and your controls. So there we go, pretty good. Even it out again, because of course now it's not even anymore. And time to do the throttle side. All right, so they're on. I'm dying of heat stroke and I'm a sweaty mess. I hate Florida. I literally started doing several videos today specifically because it was really raining and crappy out and I figured it wouldn't be that hot. The garage just sucks all of the enjoyment out of doing stuff. It's just so hot. And by the garage, I also mean Florida also. But these are on, they look good, they feel really nice. So if you're someone who likes thinner grips like I do, perfect. They have a ton of different color combinations. They have the reverse of this, which is like gray grips and black, I think, if memory serves me correct also. Links for this will be in the description. Links for everything I do to this bike will be in the description. Playlist for past bikes, coupon codes, TikTok, Instagram, everything like that, all my social media. Everything's in the description as always. Thank you guys very much for watching. I would appreciate if you liked it and subscribed to my channel. It really does help me out, especially if you like what I'm doing. Why wouldn't you subscribe? 9 out of 10 dentists recommend the Ride and Dad channel, and the 10th one just doesn't have internet at his mountain house. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until the next one, ride safe, have fun, Dad out.